So Camilla, here are the Northern Ireland starting 7. How important is it that Caroline O'Hanlon suits up for the Northern Irish this morning?
Well, this skipper is absolutely key to this side. Yes, she took a really serious knock yesterday, but dusted it off and has been deemed fit to play by medics, so she's good. She's a key player for them. That's the starting lineup. The only difference is Michelle Drain gets the nod from Dan Ryan with the starter wing attack. Shauna Craig in at goal shooter, Emma McGee at goal attack. The interception machine, Tona in at wing defence, McGee at goal defence, and Lawler in at goalkeeper. Sri Lanka, we see the same starting lineup that we saw yesterday. The only change in personnel is we see Captain Jayasuriya starting the goalkeeper position, Disanayaka in at goal defence, but we see the shooting machine in at goal shooter Sivalingam.
Yes, Tajini Sivalingam. She was the key player. And speaking of key players, there she is. And a big congratulations to Caroline O'Hanlon, who wins a 100th Test cap for Northern Ireland at a Netball World Cup. What a moment for her. What
an absolute honour, and she'll be about to demonstrate why exactly she's got those 100 caps. She's an absolute machine. She's a doctor. She's a Gaelic football player. She does it all, and you'll see in just a moment why.
Now let's welcome our match officials, the umpires.
So as the match ball is delivered onto court, we'll run you through to the head-to-head. It's their 6th meeting of the Netball World Cup between Northern Ireland and Sri Lanka. Northern Ireland won the previous, have won 4. Sri Lanka just one. That was way back in 1963 in Eastbourne. We're underway. Northern Ireland running right to left in their dark dresses. Sri Lanka left to right. An opportunity early on for Shauna Craig. For Northern Ireland's first goal of the match. She shot 18 of 22 yesterday against Australia. Didn't have many opportunities, but she took most of them. Here comes Sri Lanka, getting their attacking game into gear. Amado Wansa at the centre position. Sivalingam again the target, and at goal attack.
Contact, goalkeeper, penalty pass.
Is Mendes, and there's Sivalingam's first goal of the match. 44 of 45 against Zimbabwe yesterday, and she has one already here.
Yeah, we know that she was key for them yesterday. Will be interesting to see what the game plan is today against Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland with a very direct approach to goal there. Lovely centre pass. 2 or 3 passes, nothing too complicated. And there we see Caroline O'Hanlon just into contact there, but making her presence known early on in this game.
Over the top to Sivalingam.
Footwork's free pass.
Done for footwork though.
Oh dear. Basic error there. Won't be happy with that in the opening 2 minutes of this game.
Tona will get Northern Ireland back underway. Over the top. Sue O'Hanlon.
Managed to get that away just in time. Fancy footwork from O'Hanlon there. Nice calm head from Shauna Craig, who's back into the netball scene after some time away travelling around New Zealand.
Move back.
Great court craft does Shauna Craig have. Lovely to see her back in the game.
O'Hanlon on ball once again, making life difficult. Yeah, she was cleared by her own medical staff in the Northern Ireland camp. Also the independent tournament doctor after that heavy head knock against Australia in the 3rd quarter. She left the court, didn't come back. But it's great for Northern Ireland and Dan Ryan that she's on deck once again as Shauna Craig throws down another one.
That was a nice use of angles from Northern Ireland. It wasn't a direct approach that time to goal, but they used the width of the court to open it up, create a clear pathway into goal. And you can see Sri Lanka just working the ball a little bit more closer to circle edge than they did yesterday against Zimbabwe. Not looking for the long ball into Sivalingham, but lost possession there. And a quick transition for Northern Ireland. Drain on the circle edge, lovely ball into Shauna Craig. Little fumble.
Emma McGee now, long ranger, nails it.
Beautiful height on that shot. Great height, no defender's going to get a hand to that.
So Northern Ireland lead Sri Lanka 5-1. They have the centre pass here, so an opportunity to extend their lead.
Down the court. No. Northern Ireland, keeper, it came off you.
Oh, that's an unlucky call there. Was trying to keep it in, but it just bounced over the line. Nice little shuffle back. Gain a few inches closer to the post.
McGee with another goal. Spoke to Dan Ryan yesterday after that heavy defeat. It was the biggest losing margin yesterday. 64 goals they went down to Australia, but he said, to be honest, we were realistic about that match. This game and the next one is what our tournament is all about. Make that top three, and who knows?
That's really refreshing to hear. I think that's signs of a great coach, to be honest, to keep things realistic and keep the girls on target. I think if you go into those games against Australia when you're ranked 8th in the world and you focus on a win or getting too close, it can be disheartening. So that's really refreshing to hear him be so realistic with the players.
Sri Lanka already down by 5 here. They started slowly yesterday too against Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Need to try and convert this possession into Mendes. There's Sivalingham, good position. Balances on that left leg and then pops it in.
That is breakaway defence.
O'Hanlon gets us back underway. McGee. Catch and cut from O'Hanlon. That was nicely done down to the end line.
Quite a lot of height on that ball unnecessarily, which gave Jo Soria just that chance to get her hands to it.
Back into Craig. Misses the shot.
Wing defence.
Offside is the call, so another break for Northern Ireland after Craig misses the shot. Goalkeeper call for contact, so McGee can pop it into Shauna Craig and she'll have her 6th goal of this first quarter. This Northern Ireland defence making life very difficult for Sri Lanka, trying to get the ball through. That's the pass that cuts through the defence.
Goalkeeper contact, penalty pass.
That ball has a lot of airtime. You can see because of the lack of movement of Sivalingham, she holds in one space. She doesn't travel much a metre out of her space, and the ball has to be so pinpoint. So you can see the airtime on it is immense. So defenders' timing has to be really on point to try and get a bite of that.
Here's Drain. There's a netball for the Mavericks in the Vitality Super League. One of your players, Camilla?
One of my girls, yep. Fantastic, experienced player, Michelle Drain. Covers all 3 player positions across the mid-court, but really come into her own in the last few seasons. Great addition to this Northern Ireland side today.
Another goal for Emma McGee there. Good start from her. 3 from 3, 100%. Sivalingham. Lawler called for contact there, and that just allows Sivalingham to get even closer. She's giving up almost a foot. Well, almost exactly a foot. Gemma Lawler on Sivalingham at that defensive end. McGee bounces it out to Drain, and she 1-2s it. She'll get another opportunity here.
Bit of an air ball there. She puts things right. That penalty.
Sri Lanka won the Asian qualifier to reach this Netball World Cup. The long lob into Sivalingham, that's tough to defend if it's on point.
And what you saw there was Northern Ireland just putting on a bit of a diamond defence, so they sat a little bit higher, which allowed Civillingham to be free underneath the post. And it was great vision in for that long bomb.
Outside.
So a caution there, called on the wing defence of Sri Lanka, Rajapaksa. We saw yesterday in the Roses Uganda game, cautions, warnings, sendings off. A lot of controversy about that overnight.
There was, and there's a lot of debate as to whether or not it was a harsh call, but she'd already been cautioned, she'd already been warned, she'd already been sinned in for the 2 minutes. So the next offence, she was taken off for the rest of the game, and Uganda had to see out the last 10 minutes of that game with 6 players.
Yes.
Must be honest, I've not seen that before. Great hands there by Fanula Tona. Starting to warm up into this game. Great athlete is she.
Advantage goalkeeper.
11-7 now, so good passage there for Sri Lanka. With that laser-like pass into Craig.
Lovely first and second phase there from Northern Ireland. Just, you can see Jayasuriya's getting very close to those flies, so you want Northern Ireland just to open up their vision to make sure they can see it all before they put those passes in. But the speed of that much better from Northern Ireland.
Wanathaleka with another perfectly timed pass into Civillingham. Craig comes out of the circle, bounces into McGee. Nice finish.
And you can just sense Northern Ireland are quite comfortable with that entry into the circle.
Free pass. Come. Yes.
Northern Ireland not having to play it around too much. Unlike Sri Lanka, who could probably do with doing a little bit of playing it around, opening up the angles, just to get the defenders swinging, head swinging. They're starting to double on her. Oh, unlucky.
Centre, that's an intentional obstruction with the cause to delay. It's a caution, bring it up.
Another caution on the Sri Lankan centre, Amarawansa.
So you could see Michelle Drain had caught the ball central, and there was a clear pass underneath the post, which would have been an absolute beauty, but Amarawansa did not want her goalkeeper to be scolded, so she sticks her arms in the way, and it was absolutely intentional there, so a caution given.
Tona in a big contest to try and win possession, can't quite get it, and Civillingham has number 10. She's taking all the shots at the moment. We saw this yesterday, and we wondered whether Sri Lanka might change it up a bit and give their goal attack. Mendes on court at the moment, but no, they're sticking with the Civillingham as the target here.
And you question it again. I mean, if we look at Northern Ireland, we've got Shauna Craig sitting on eight goals, Emma McGee sitting on 7, so it's a pretty even spread, and they're 5 goals up. It's working in their favour. Civillingham sitting on 10, Mendes on 0. Again, we've got the attacking contact. You heard the coach.
We saw this a couple of times yesterday, sorry Camilla, didn't we? Where she got herself in a bit of a clumsy position a couple of times, gave away the offensive contact.
Yeah, and those are things that you really see. We've already had a footwork in the circle, the offensive contact. You've got to look at your video and see what it is that the umpires are calling, because it is something that you can query at quarter times. Your captain can go up to the umpire and find out what it is exactly that they're looking at.
Just out of the outstretched hands there of Michelle Drain. 16-10, back to 6, the difference. 3:30 to go in this first quarter. Crucial game in Group A. If either Northern Ireland or Sri Lanka are going to reach that top 3 for stage 2, again it's a turnover.
Down.
Sri Lanka though back in possession, working it down the near side.
Northern Ireland do a good job defensively, just keeping them away from that middle area of the court.
Pass a little long from Wanathaleka.
And Rajapaksa again Yesterday, she really impressed with some of her interceptions, some of her early flies, and we just saw that again from her, producing the goods. Nice and early.
Yes.
Coming through onto the centre.
On defense.
Fantastic timing.
Penalty pass, yes.
Sri Lanka won the Asian qualifier to reach this Netball World Cup. Their best finish. And they're playing under the Ceylon banner. Was way back in 1963. They finished 9th. It's the 10th Netball World Cup.
Toner just trying to give a little influence to the umpire there, but the umpire knew what she saw. Mendes with the ball. Looks for the one. Oh.
Contact goal defense.
They're just coming over the back that time was Michelle McGee.
Which is a strategy that worked really well for Zimbabwe yesterday against Sivalingham. Couldn't quite come up with the goods though, Northern Ireland. Great ball into space there. Shauna Craig with a beautiful change of angle. She took a step to the right, opened up to the left. Defender totally sold on the first move.
This is again though. Got the rebound with the first miss, but couldn't follow it up with the second. Short on the first attempt and then went over the back on the next one. So opportunity missed to extend it back to 5 for Northern Ireland. Bit of sip on the Sri Lankan passing now. Seem to have upped the tempo. Later in this first quarter. Sivalingham again, good position. The way she just then leans forward off that left leg, gets a little closer, and it's pretty hard to miss from that kind of range.
Yeah, that was much better placement in from Wanathaleka.
Interception, Northern Ireland.
That was good timing.
Michelle
they left
McGee.
It open. Yep, lovely work from McGee there. That's the beauty of leaving a little bit more space open, making it feel like it's open, and then just being able to run through. The feeder undercooks it, you come out with the goods.
Nice movement from Emma McGee. She's 100% so far. Got a good first quarter, long lob, bit short. Shooter called for contact again. Northern Ireland come away with it. And that is that for the opening quarter. Northern Ireland came out of the blocks a little quicker. And they will go into the break here with a 5-goal lead. You think Dan Ryan will be pretty impressive with that first quarter?
I think he'll be asking for a little bit more. He'll be happy that they've been able to convert as much as they have, but he'll be asking for more, absolutely.
We'll take a break. Second quarter coming up. Nice start to the second quarter from Northern Ireland, through the hands of O'Hanlon to McGee and into Shauna Craig. Important to score, of course, off your own centre pass.
Absolutely key. You get 50% of the possession. You take care of that, the rest will take care of itself.
Toner almost with an interception there, going for it again, working really hard at the start of the second quarter. That pass has gone over the back, so chance here for Northern Ireland to work it up court and extend this lead. Craig again, good position.
Great hands from Hannah Wilkes on the side there.
Yes.
Yeah, sitting right back. Excellent commentary position here. O'Hanlon just scoops it into.
Penalty passes.
Penalty passes the call back into McGee. She's shown she can shoot from long range in this game already. Misses on the second attempt. Lucky break though for Northern Ireland. They'll get possession back.
can see the work rate on the outside by Rajapaksa, just trying to confuse the side of Michelle Drain. When offside not given, the advantage given, but Sri Lanka have come out with it. It's a better transition through court. Poor hands there from Mendes, just unable to keep it in. Oh, unlucky there.
Position from Craig. It was the goalkeeper, Jayasuriya, who had drifted out to the top of the circle, and Shauna Craig just stayed right where she was. Change here for Sri Lanka. It's Mendes who's leading the court.
So this was the change that we saw yesterday. We saw Wanatha Lakers switch across into that goal attack position, and it worked for them. There was a patch where they started to take on some shots and got 100%. So
yeah, Wanatha Lakers, she picked up 5 from 5 yesterday when she came on alongside Sivalingham.
Nice structure there from Northern Ireland. Dan Ryan likes his set plays.
Great way to respond from McGee, having missed her previous attempt to convert the next one.
And that's what you want from your shooters. You know, you want, if you don't want them to miss, sorry, you don't want them to miss, but if they miss, you want them to just brush it off, sink the next one, keep taking the shots. Great middle ball there from O'Hanlon, just finds that space so beautifully. Having played against Caroline O'Hanlon, sorry, the way that she punches through that court on a transition, it's a chasing game.
She's an incredible athlete, isn't she?
A ridiculous athlete, the pace at which she can cover, but she does that at centre. You are going from end to end, covering 30 metres of court, and she does it for 60 minutes at a time. She's an absolute machine, and then gets straight in on defence as well.
Not just netball though, I mean, she was an all-star in Gaelic football 3 times. She turned down an international soccer and AFL career in Australia as well. I mean, she can do it all.
Fantastic.
Contact keeper.
What an inspiration.
Sivalingham. 22-14, 15. 11 to go in this second quarter. O'Hanlon, there she is, looking for the opening inside the circle. They swing it around the other side. Good interception. But lucky break for Northern Ireland. O'Hanlon has it into McGee. Over to Craig. She's closer to the goal and no problem from there.
That was a little bit sloppy from Northern Ireland, a bit of miscommunication in terms of timing of movement. They'll want to tighten that up. We've seen Craig and McGee have nice timing and positioning of movement with their rotation.
Interesting watching Gemma Lawler there. The tactic is to play behind Sivalingham and try and knock it away from that position, because if she's in front of Sivalingham, it's just so difficult, because if they lob it over, there's nothing she can do.
Well, we saw Dan Ryan at the quarter-time break just talking to her about getting in that backing up position or rolling around and getting underneath the ball, and she's proved successful. The first one went off the back line, but it's a game where you have to keep the variety against her, keep the feeders guessing in terms of the placement of the ball.
Sweet shot from Emma McGee.
See the contact, goal third.
8 goals the difference. Sivalingham, 16 from 16 now. Turnover.
Held ball, 3-second count there for Caroline O'Hanlon.
Forward and outside the circle.
Not set in the right place exactly. Previously, that ball would have been turned over and possession would have been given back to Northern Ireland for not taking the penalty. The free pass, sorry, in the right place.
Instruction on fence. Instruction centre outside.
Good hands there from Rathagoreda. Just able to get that ball through with the hands of O'Hanlon, smothering her.
Sivalingham double teamed, but brings it down with 2 hands and pops it straight back in. 24-18.
I mean, she's at close enough range to take that shot herself, right?
Well, she started to in the match yesterday against Zimbabwe, one up a Lanka, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and coach Gina Dasa said that it worked for them for that short period of time.
McGee just hitting the jack there, getting her tangled up. Over the top to Craig.
Great strength from Craig taking that ball.
She misses again, Shauna Craig, so she's just been a little bit off point in this game as it's gone on. She started with a very slick shooting record, but just of late.
Beautiful there. Wow, that was fantastic. What we see there is a great overload on the defence. That's a masterclass and real good work there from Northern Ireland. They swung the ball across to the other side of the circle. Shauna Craig held her player out. You see McGee running the front, and the defender that was on her just totally overloaded, had a choice to make. And Craig receives the ball underneath the post, which is what they do so well when the timing is right.
McGee likes to shoot from that kind of range. Sweetly done. 26-18.
This is the time where I'd really like to see, I know I'm hammering on about it, but I'd really like to see Lanka starting to take some shots, because this is the point where they need to stay in touching distance. There's 7 minutes left of the quarter, halfway, which is when yesterday they started to just take their foot off the pedal, so they need to really inject some pace back into this and make the most of their possession. Another held ball there, 3 seconds.
Yeah, we're going to update you with all the rules and regs as we go. You must release the ball within 3 seconds. There's always a bit of interpretation on what is 3 seconds in netball, but Northern Ireland falling foul of that rule on that occasion. Into Sivalingham once more, pops it over.
Wouldn't it be great to get a stopwatch out and see how many of these umpires are on the money? My bet is that they'd be pretty on point.
1 and 2 and 3.
There you go.
Sivalingham. So edging closer. Sri Lanka, they've got it back within 5 goals.
It's much better intensity, and we talked about that halfway mark in the quarter. Just putting your foot back on the pedal, regrouping a little bit, making sure you're keeping your connections, because your concentration goes, right? As you start to get tired, you start to think about other things, or in some cases thinking about your lungs. So regroup.
Come forward, make your feet.
So here comes Sri Lanka.
Amaranth
Looking to
not
take
happy.
advantage.
Obstruction, keep hand side.
Gemma Lawler called for the obstruction there.
That is keep out of play.
So good passage of play here for Sri Lanka, keeping it 2-5. If they can find a turnover here, they could go on a second quarter run. Craig comes way out of the circle. And McGee's all alone under the goal, and she converts it. Nicely done. McGee, 13 from 15 now. 14 from 16 even. Back up to 88%.
Nice 1-2 there from O'Hanlon to Drain. Lovely. There we see the overload again, where McGee runs the front, Craig holds for that post position. That's the kind of rotation that's really difficult for defenders to get around, and proving successful for them.
Northern Ireland working the triangles nicely on both sides. McGee looking for their 15th goal of the game. Back out to 8, the margin. She's been impressive. 6 assists, 15 goals. That's not bad over 1.5 quarters.
No, and that's what's really successful for Northern Ireland. They're sharing the load on those shots. She's a playmaker, McGee. It's opening up the ball for flat ball to go in. Defender's not having a chance to get a hand on it.
Topeka Abakoon in the centre position for Sri Lanka. Coach making the change into Sivalingham.
Full time. Wing attack, wing attack, wing goal defense. On the other team centre pass, you're consistently breaking. That's a caution, both of you. Right? On the other team centre, yes, the centre pass just now, not this one. On Sri Lanka's centre pass, you are breaking. So that's a caution. Come up. Centre, it's yours.
Another caution against Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Breaking early, what's the call there?
That's interesting. Really interesting call. She's cautioned both of them. She's cautioned the wing attack and the goal defence for both breaking on the centre pass. So both players going over the line before the whistle. She deems it intentional. She's cautioned both of them. Interesting that that wasn't just a tidy it up conversation, but the caution's been given.
Number 16 for Emma McGee, out of the West Side Club. More changes for Sri Lanka.
Thank you.
We see Wakagura moving into that centre position.
Centre obstruction outside.
Amarawansa entering back into the court at wing attack. She's a key feeder for Sri Lanka, so they missed her.
O'Hanlon. McGee.
Great second phase there from Michelle Drain. Rathagadira just getting a little bit too close on that.
Lovely shot from Emma McGee under all sorts of pressure. She would have had another chance at it, but that was nice.
Contact on defence. Back with her.
Rajapaksa. Sivalingham just hurls it towards the goal. Air ball over the top. She doesn't like shooting from that kind of range.
No, and she was going off balance, I think, as well. We don't see that from her much.
Yeah, she's been very patient usually, hasn't she? If she hasn't got the position she wants, she'll pop it back out, edge closer.
Yes. Traction in defense.
McGee again. She's really shot to prominence in this match.
She has, and she's becoming the more dominant feeder. Shauna Craig just...
Offside, goal attack, goal attack. Stay in the playing area. Full time.
Yeah, Shauna Craig and Gianni Desanayaka.
Nice pass into Craig.
Having a battle that's much better from Craig. Those angles opening up really work for Northern Ireland.
Hold time, no shooter.
So we have a change, and it's Sivalingham who's heading to the sideline, and coming on is Sethu Kavala for her first appearance at the Netball World Cup. She didn't take the court yesterday. She's not 6'10", but she is 6'5", so she's still a handful up front.
And already we can see from her just a bit more agility. A good angle on that hold there. Great entry into this game. She's jumping, she's ready. Could be the change that Sri Lanka need to edge back into this.
Over the top to McGee, just a little too heavy from O'Hanlon.
Nice idea. Just unable to pull that in.
Dangerous pass way across court from Sri Lanka.
Contact, goal attack, penalty pass.
Yeah, call for the goal attack there was Emma McGee. 34-25 as we approach the end of the first half.
Wing defence offside.
Lobbed in, but Sethu Kavala can't bring it down. O'Hanlon.
Over. Yes.
Unlucky from O'Hanlon there. Thought she got a touch to that in the middle third. The ball has to be touched in each area of the court, and that ball went from the end third. Looked like O'Hanlon got a hand to it in the middle, but umpire didn't think so.
Pass into Craig. And there's the whistle for the end of the second quarter. Northern Ireland have won the second quarter 16-12, 34-25 overall. They will go in with a substantial advantage. It's been an impressive first half from the Northern Irish. Lost to Australia yesterday, but they're in a good position here.
They are. Those last 5 minutes of that, I wouldn't say took their foot off the pedal, but the connections just started to get a little bit loose. So Dan Ryan will be giving them some strict instructions to get those connections back. But yes, a good start from them. 9 goals up. Comfortable lead, I think. Some good work. Emma McGee really stepping up to take control of that attacking end.
Northern Ireland leading Sri Lanka 34-25. We'll take a break. See you on the other side with some highlights. Third quarter underway. Sri Lanka with the centre pass. Trailing by 9 goals at the half. They made plenty of changes down the stretch in that second quarter. And they found it difficult to get the combinations going. There's a caution on the wing defence, or was it the goal defence? Toner.
Yeah, we see Fanula Tola switch across to the goal defence position. Neve Cooper enters into the wing defence position there. So I would imagine with Tona's interceptability, they want her in the circle to try and win a little bit more that we just talked about.
And another change for Northern Ireland. Nolene Armstrong, formerly Nolene Lennon. Here she is, winning her 102nd cap. She'd retired from international netball, and then the injury to Lisa Bowman a few weeks out from the tournament. The call went out for Armstrong, and here she is representing her country once again.
Yeah, absolutely. She wasn't able to get into camp straight away due to other commitments.
Yeah, had to postpone her honeymoon.
She must have a good husband.
Very understanding. So Lawler, Toner, Cooper at the back for Northern Ireland. The midfield of O'Hanlon, Drain and McGee stay out there, and then Armstrong the change up front.
Yeah, Cooper just injecting some real intensity there into that defence.
Contact, goal defence, penalty pass.
Oh, another contact call on Toner.
Yes, please.
One of the Lakers shooting, as we saw yesterday on day one. She's got a lovely shot.
One that they should utilise.
Armstrong from mid-range, just dribbles over the top. Sri Lanka come away with it. O'Hanlon causing problems. Back to Armstrong. And that little 1-2 with McGee over the top to Armstrong again.
You could just see she wanted to thread that ball through to Armstrong, thought better of it, went for the short ball to McGee, who then slotted it through to Armstrong. He's taken that home nicely.
There she heads up the Northern Ireland High Performance Netball program. There's Nolene Armstrong. Sri Lanka player down, clutching the left lower leg. Didn't look good as Northern Ireland work through the middle. Drain. Very good work at the back there from the goalkeeper, Dissanayake. Jayasuriya. Back to the centre. Jayasuriya again, just off the hand of Emma McGee.
Contact, wing defence, penalty pass.
Cooper just called on the contact there. You can see she's got a slightly different style to Toner, who was in previously at wing defence. She's a lot more man-to-man, a lot more physical pressure, body to body.
Toner comes away with it. into Cooper. O'Hanlon, quick pass to Drain, over the top to Armstrong. Great pace through the court from Northern Ireland.
That transition there through, like a hot knife through butter. O'Hanlon's so good at that, so hard to stop. Sri Lanka were never going to see anything but dust there.
Bit of frustration on the face there from Armstrong. She'll be pleased to convert that one, because a couple of misses, just struggling to get the rhythm going.
Yeah, she's had a little bit of time away from it, so rightly so, just taking a second to get into it, but a real professional, a seasoned player. Doesn't last too long.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
That is breaking wing attack.
And you can see the intensity of the Northern Ireland defence out the front there. They've really tightened up that front line, trying to create some more lofted ball.
Time shooter, Sri Lanka.
There's Nin Cooper,
Wing attack down.
qualified doctor.
Now we see Sivalingham coming back in, chopping and changing. Sri Lanka just unable to settle in that attacking lineup.
Contact, goal defense, penalty pass.
And it's really a task as a
Advantage
feeder to adjust to the changes that happen in front of you, because although
Breaker goal
they're
defense.
similar in the start, in the sense of, oh, hit the deck,
Big collision. Toner,
goal defence on goal defence.
Jayasuriya, the goal defence for Sri Lanka.
Bad obstruction wing.
She's got some strapping on the left knee now as well. There's Armstrong.
Bad offside centre. Seem to stay on
To
side.
McGee.
Obstruction.
But yeah, as I was saying, down the other end, although it's like for like in terms of a target shooter, they hold just slightly different angles. We see Seta Kavala just being able to take on the move a little bit more, but Sri Lanka weren't looking into her. You can see they hardly fed the ball in for those last few minutes of that.
Full time.
Just calling time here till we get the ball back.
Unable to keep
Bad
that
obstruction, keeper.
Northern Ireland up to 40. Drain, little 1-2 with Armstrong. O'Hanlon at the top of the circle. Over the top to Armstrong.
Contact goal defense.
Just shoved over the back line by the Sri Lankan goal D.
And that's experience for you, the way that Armstrong took that ball. A sneaky little look at the umpire to make sure she got that contact call. But yeah, 5.
Shooter contact.
American experience, 102 caps now for Armstrong. Great to see two Northern Irish centurions on court together. Of course, Caroline O'Hanlon breaking the 100 test cap barrier on court in this one. She's just into everything, isn't she? Just does not stop. Had that heavy knock yesterday, went off in the third quarter against Australia. Checked by the medical staff, went through the concussion protocols. You can forgive her for, you know, perhaps not going full metal jacket in this one, but she's into absolutely everything, O'Hanlon.
And that's what makes her so hard to play against, you know. Like we talked about on attack, she's relentless. In defence, you don't have an inch. She'll chase balls down, then she'll be really disappointed with herself that she wasn't able to keep that in. She has really high expectations of herself, and that's what makes her so brilliant.
41 plays 28 into Sivalingham. She's had a rest, just curls that one in through the rim. McGee.
Position goal defense. Position goal defense.
Goal defence had possession was the call. Good work from Jayasuriya.
So
instruction.
So it's not a contact call, so both players ended up with hands on the ball, but the umpire called the goal defence to have possession first. So no contact, just possession. Michelle Drain throwing everything on the line there to get that contact called though. That's a real die-hard player for you there.
Contact. When goal defense, penalty pass, goal defense.
One off the leg.
Goal defense, we need to come and play aside.
Into Sivalingham.
Traction, goal attack, penalty pass.
11 goals of difference, 7 to go in the third quarter. Northern Ireland Their lead just brought down by one. Siverlingham started this third quarter well. She's
Contact centre.
29 of 31 now, 94%.
That was a fantastic feed through the middle. Armstrong just exiting the circle. Cooper firing that ball through the middle. That ball received on the top of the circle, so hard for any defender to get a hand to.
Quick release from O'Hanlon back to Armstrong, in contact as well. Oh, that was impressive from the Northern Irish captain.
Fantastic ball. Absolute class.
Sri Lanka work it forward quickly. There's nothing Gemma Lawler could do about that.
And you've got to have a certain mindset going up against a defender. Sorry, being a defender going up against a player like Siverlingham, because you know for 60 minutes you are just going to have to jump and you're not going to win much ball. But you've got to keep going, keep persevering. Oh, Armstrong just unable to keep that in possession.
Yeah, it was a great turnover in mid-court.
But you can see Northern Ireland straight into a structure. You can see they're trying to create that long ball to win an interception. But Sri Lanka...
Siverlingham almost in danger of putting her other foot on the floor there. Misses the shot, but lucky break. Get possession back and just pops back into the big 6'10". Siverlingham. Gemma Lawler almost looking there, well, what do I do? Toner. Hanlon.
So comfortable on the ball.
McGee again, yeah.
Absolutely, so comfortable on the ball. You can tell she's been in this for a while and they're really confident. It's nice to see a different team than what we're seeing yesterday.
44-33. 4.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. A crucial match in Group A.
Little shuffle shot there from Armstrong. She took the ball, passes it back to O'Hanlon, shuffles back just to get a little bit closer to the post. Emma McGee finishes it off.
Continues that good shooting form we saw in the first half, Emma McGee.
Such quick hands there from Northern Ireland attack. Beautifully finished off.
The lob into Siverlingham, misses that one, and Lawler reacts quickly. Knocks it away for Northern Ireland. Here's Cooper. Drain.
Michelle Drain did really well not to feed that ball through the middle. She saw it opened up but thought it's too much of a risk, so opted not to pass that ball right to the post there. Smart work from Michelle Drain.
Armstrong's got the mojo back, hasn't she?
The mojo is in full effect.
Drain over the top to McGee. Cross court to O'Hanlon. Little fake pass. And Armstrong, end product.
This is the sign of a confident team. They almost look like they're playing their toe in with the Sri Lankan defence. They can pass it round if they need to or use their little fakes. And again, good structure from Northern Ireland to not let that ball land in the middle. Oh, Lawler just unlucky there. That was probably within touching distance, but it got within her blind side. Wasn't able to roll the back in time there. McGee taking control of that circle with the miss, but straight into...
Get her own rebound.
The rebound, that's it.
Follow your shot, that's what they say. (48-35). Approaching the final 2 minutes of quarter number 3. And Cooper called for the contacts on that occasion. Lob pass again. It's pretty much the strategy here. Lob it down the sideline and lob it into Siverlingham, but great work at the back from the Northern Irish defence. They come away with it.
Oh, fantastic work. McGee again with the draw through the baseline. Armstrong pops to the top. Fantastic from Lawler, getting up underneath that ball just as Dan Ryan instructed her to do. Smart work from Northern Ireland.
Another caution, but Amara Wansa.
Michelle Drain just...
Dissanayake. Sri Lanka finding it so difficult to get the ball through, and they do eventually to Sivalingham. Rolls it over. But the difference here seems, Camilla, it's just the ease with which Northern Ireland get the ball up court, whereas Sri Lanka, they're having to work so hard to move it through each third.
They do, and if they could look into the circle a little bit earlier but still have those short options, they'd probably have a bit more open to them. But you can see they're really restricted on what they can do in that circle, and it must be really frustrating as for one of the feeders, but they've got to play the possession game if that's how they're going to play.
Tell you what, Gemma Lawler is putting in a big shift at the back here against Sivalingham. She's leaping, sliding, doing whatever she can to try and put the big 6'10" shooter off her game.
Paper obstruction.
Nice little fake shot there from McGee.
Fantastic. And Caroline O'Hanlon, if you watch her coming through the court, she's almost gliding. Her feet barely touch the ground and her hands are so quick, something we saw from her in her domestic league for Manchester Thunder,
Another turnover.
That is obstruction.
who lifted the Super League title this season. She was a key player for them.
Armstrong up over 85% now, 87% for the shooting. Oh, the layup from Armstrong. Doesn't make it. That's the end of quarter number 3. Nolene Armstrong, Northern Ireland netballing legend, back on court and rolling back the years. 51-37, a big advantage at three-quarter time, and Dan Ryan will have a few words to his charges at the break, and we'll be back soon with quarter number 4. 51-37 with a quarter to go. Dan Ryan said they're targeting these second 2 games in the group. So far, so good.
Yeah, and we can see a change. McCaffrey in for Drain at wing attack. You can see O'Hanlon just giving Northern Ireland a good talking to, demanding that they keep the intensity.
Sivalingham with the 36th goal of the match. She did get arrested in that third quarter, over the top to Armstrong. She's back out here. Missed a couple early on in that third quarter, but she's got it back. Just to confirm, the 7 on court now for Northern Ireland. Lawler, Toner and Cooper at the back. O'Hanlon, the captain, alongside McCaffrey. That's the change in mid-court. McGee and Armstrong in the forward circle.
That is contact obstruction, Paper. That is goal. That is break on defense.
O'Hanlon with the centre pass.
That is obstruction.
Armstrong.
Nice work from Armstrong, changing the angle. Ball switched to the top of the D, opens it up.
Yep, that's number 15, nearing 85% again, Armstrong. The kind of numbers we're used to from her. Over the top to Sivalingham.
Contact on the fence.
Tony gets called for the contact as well, so Sivalingham will send that one home. Sri Lanka up to 40.
That's much better placement.
O'Hanlon into McGee.
Really impressed with the connection between Caroline O'Hanlon and Emma McGee today. Goal attack and centre, linking nicely. Forcing that wayward pass from Rajapaksa, sorry.
obstruction.
Toner and Lawler working at the back. Here's O'Hanlon going to the sideline. Good intercept for Sri Lanka.
That's what Rajapaksa can do. We know she can do that. Gone a little bit quiet, but those opportunities have to be created by the Sri Lankan attacking lineup, doing a little bit more in defence. They're just a bit slow on transition. But as you can see, that long ball created from those guys in front.
O'Hanlon with a no-look right-hand pass to McGee.
And if you see O'Hanlon, every time she takes the ball, the first place she looks is to the post. That's a sign of a really smart mid-quarter. She looks to post. That's the first place you want to go. If you can get it there, great. If it's not on, you look elsewhere. And in her world, you don't even need to look elsewhere.
A slightly fortunate rebound off the goal from McGee, but she puts it away after the Armstrong miss.
Stretching Goldstein's outside.
So much airtime on that ball in.
Centre obstruction, both ladies. Vantage moving off goal defence. Contact keeper.
Sivalingam with another. Number 40 for her. Over the top again. Nice pass from Amarawansa once more.
And we talked yesterday, didn't we, Rupert, a little bit about the fact that it's very much one style of play for Sri Lanka. And does that do you need a bit more variety as a feeder? Would you like to see a little bit more movement from your shooter?
Centre contact, inside arm.
60 minutes just looking long and putting that high ball in. It's the same thing over and over again. And
stretching goal defence, Vantage goal.
It'd be nice to see something a little bit more interesting.
Results in from the other court. Australia have beaten Zimbabwe 73-37, so 2 from 2 for the Diamonds. Zimbabwe, their first defeat of the tournament. They will go up against Northern Ireland next, and that will be well worth watching to well decide positioning for the second stage.
Obstruction.
Over the top again from the centre, Wathagagedra.
That's a much better hold from Sivalingam. Holding a space that just creates a ball that takes a little bit more pressure off. Not so well contested.
When defence contact, penalty pass.
From Lawler.
One defence called. Rajapaksa with the contact on that occasion.
You can't fault her work rate, can you? You can't fault it.
Yeah, she's put a big shift in.
On the whistle. Van's obstruction centre.
So
Nice.
from a penalty pass, O'Hanlon into Armstrong, finishes again.
And again, that looks like that's the structure of Northern Ireland. The ball goes from the top to the corner. You have the goal attack, run in the front, and then the post ball opens up. Great work from Lawler on that intercept. That must be a relief from her, winning an interception, not having to jump backwards, but she can actually chase it forwards.
Obstruction centre.
Sri Lanka looking for an opening. They go the lob pass again, but Lawler's up to it, and they send it away. O'Hanlon into Armstrong. Bounce pass, just can't find the captain.
Centre.
Nolene Armstrong, recently married, formerly Nolene Lennon. Popular name in Liverpool, Lennon.
Absolutely. What's the Beatles song?
Yes.
We won't do it to you.
I love the pianos around the city. You walk around the city, there's these red pianos everywhere. And anyone can use them. People are on there playing Beatles tunes. It's brilliant.
Contact, shooter, penalty pass.
If we could get a heat map on O'Hanlon, the middle of this court would absolutely be on fire. She uses the middle of the court so well and tracks in defence. Just have a look at her constantly changing her footwork. 42 feeds she's sitting on. 42 assists to your shooting circle as a centre is phenomenal. And then gets her hand in on defence. Her work rate is just out of this world.
She's the reason Sri Lanka, the main reason Sri Lanka are up against it here, trailing by 57 to 45. They're leading the fourth quarter though, by 8 goals to 6. But that big advantage that Northern Ireland brought into it, back into Armstrong.
Throwing.
Just goes over the back line. Turnover there for Sri Lanka. The goal attack, Amara Wansa. Sivalingham again.
There we see that long bomb again.
Cross court to McCaffrey. Back into McGee,
Goal
but
defense,
contact on the goal D.
Goal defense, step up, step up. Right. Yes.
And McGee, their 25th goal of the game. Up to 90%. She has been very impressive for Northern Ireland.
Nice from Sri Lanka there, just receiving the ball on the top of the circle, gives them a little bit more choice in terms of where they can feed that ball into Sivalingham. Great hands from O'Hanlon, taking that pocket ball, straight ball to post.
Sri Lankans trying to communicate with each other, trying to find each other in a good position. But there's a good interception from Gemma Lawler through the midcourt to McCaffrey.
Here we see that corner ball. Someone's going to run front. If it doesn't open up, we just see the shuffle shot from McGee. Edge away, a little bit closer to post and slots it away for goal number 26.
Emma McGee, the Big Mac, on day 2. Her combination with both Craig and Armstrong has been excellent. Zimbabwe next. They'll bring the noise. The fans will be in here, won't they? On Sunday, when Northern Ireland play their 3rd game, they're going to have a hostile reception. Even though it's a long way from Zimbabwe, but they've got so many supporters here. They're going to get behind their team, and there's going to be a big atmosphere for Northern Ireland's next match.
Wing defence contact.
Not too far for Northern Ireland to come, so hopefully their fans come out in full force and it might just be one heck of a party.
Yeah, there's a few in here, but they don't sing and dance like the Zimbabweans.
Not quite. I can think of some other things they do really well.
Oh, lovely.
And balls in the air to space just like that. O'Hanlon, absolute class.
Catch and release before she hit the floor. That was beautiful.
We saw that from the Zimbabwean, almost identical, taking the ball in exactly the same place, splitting the ball in the air to the goal shooter. So we might have a like-for-like game on our hands on Sunday. Fantastic skills on display.
Yes.
So just over 4 minutes to go in this Group A match. Northern Ireland have led all the way. They're down by a goal in this quarter, but with the advantage they've got, 61 to 48, they can almost afford to give up a few at the defensive end. They'll just keep plugging away.
Keeper. Inside. Contact on fence.
Sivalingham, that's number 47. Now to 52, over 90% again. O'Hanlon finds the good position. Just apologise to Armstrong there for the pass, but they'll get it back, Northern Ireland.
Yes.
Good hands
She is
there
human, isn't she, around?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well picked up from Wathagadira. Much better transition from Sri Lanka.
One of the Lanka, goal attack.
Took the shot up.
Shooter contact.
Oh,
Called again. Sivalingham for contact.
for Nula Tola looked to play that long ball, thought better of it. Swing that ball across. Armstrong popping to the top, as she does so well.
Number 20 for Nolene Armstrong.
I mean, that's a really interesting call. You can see Tola trying to edge closer, but just backing up onto Siverlingham. She'll be disappointed with that one.
Bit of a collision in mid-court on O'Hanlon from Rajapaksa. We play on. Armstrong from mid-range. No problem for Nolene Armstrong.
Cool as you like. Emma McGee's work rate, we can't fault that this evening. She's taken 18 of the 52 centre passes. So from a centre pass, when they come into that centre third there, she's taken 18 of those passes. Interestingly, 11 of those have gone backwards to the goal defence of Northern Ireland, so not afraid going back to go forwards. But the work rate of Emma McGee.
She plays with a lot of maturity, doesn't she? She's only 21, but she looks very calm and relaxed out there, Emma McGee. Unruffled.
She does, and she's unassuming, but she works tirelessly. But for me, it's the connections that she has with O'Hanlon and Armstrong in there.
Wanathaneka with a goal for Sri Lanka. Just her second of the game.
Yes.
There's McGee again, nice little spin move. Oh, that's a sweet shot as we approach full time.
28 from 31, that's a good volume for a goal attack.
Siverlingham losing the handle. And here come Northern Ireland wanting to finish with a flourish here. McCaffrey back to her captain O'Hanlon, gets the ball back into Armstrong, cross court. Oh, those quick hands, the anticipation from O'Hanlon. She doesn't even look at the player she's passing to.
And you can't teach that. You can't coach that. That's something that you're blessed with. She does so well.
Lawler with another intervention. McCaffrey to Armstrong. Good game time for Nolene Armstrong. Didn't feature against Australia, but here she is, racking up some good minutes in the second half as McGee goes out to 29. And that is full time in this second round match from Group A. Emma McGee, one of the stars for Northern Ireland. 67-50, it finishes, and Northern Ireland have their first win of the group. And that will please them as they head to Sunday against Zimbabwe with a win under the belt. Well, Northern Ireland, big defeat yesterday against Australia, but it's what Dan Ryan said, it's all about the next two games for us. They're realistic about that opener, and at 67-50, a 17-goal margin, that'll please them.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that, absolutely. They've righted some wrongs, and yeah, real quality performance from them, a real squad performance. They got a lot of players onto court there, and you can see the smile on his face there, he's really happy, but it'll be about regrouping for their big game tomorrow against Zimbabwe. That's the one that we'll all be watching. That will be the key game, but fantastic. We can just see O'Hanlon there on the outskirts of that, featured massively in that performance tonight.
And what a moment for her on the occasion of a 100th Test cap. A lot of talk overnight. Could she play? Would she play? That really heavy head knock she had yesterday, but she's got up off the floor, she's suited up here, and she's led her team to a crucial win here in Group A. Okay, let's look back at some of the highlights from that game. Start to finish, Northern Ireland with a better team. Slow start from Sri Lanka again. We saw it yesterday against Zimbabwe, but they got their game together through the second quarter, but Siverlingham was their go-to once again.
Yeah, she was, and you know she did well, 47 from 52, so sitting on 90%, which is a massive percentage, and 2 from 2 from the goal attack. So yeah, impressive from Sivalingham. A lot of pressure for her to be under. A few changes that Sri Lanka's attacking lineup were able to adjust to. It's not easy to do, but you just see her there so comfortable on the ball. Rajapaksa winning some nice ball for Sri Lanka. A little bit quiet in the circle for Sri Lanka, but all in all, a better performance from yesterday, putting 50 goals on the board. They'll be pleased with a slight improvement, but Northern Ireland with a team tonight to beat.
Yeah, Sri Lanka turned the ball over 35 times in the game. How much was that down to the defensive pressure from Northern Ireland?
Yeah, and there was a good defensive line from Northern Ireland. You can see Lawler, like you said, a foot shorter, but still able to win ball, and that was from the work of O'Hanlon and Cooper and Toner in front to create those balls. O'Hanlon just punching through the middle of that court. That's where we see the goal attack running through the baseline, and Armstrong or Craig punching through the middle that they did so well.
Yeah, they had the triangles working nicely, didn't they? There's another no-looker from O'Hanlon into Armstrong. Good minutes from her, and McGee, who played the entire match, was very, very good for Northern Ireland. Here are some of the numbers. What stands out?
Well, the percentages are up on both teams. For me, it's the amount of shots. Northern Ireland putting up 81 shots in that game to Sri Lanka's 55, and that's down to the opportunities. High penalty rate on both, but the 35 turnovers from Sri Lanka, they'll be disappointed with that. But credit to Northern Ireland. Fantastic conversion from what they did, 67 on the goals. They did well to turn that around from Australia yesterday. They'll be much happier going home today.
And what it means, of course, in Group A is that Northern Ireland are on the board, the 2 points for the win, and they are well in the picture in this group. So Australia, 2 from 2, they lead the way, but Zimbabwe and Northern Ireland equal on points. Remember, the top 3 go through to the second preliminary stage here at the Netball World Cup. Just a reminder of the schedule, on court 2 here, which is our focus today. Group B up next, Malawi looking for their first win up against Singapore, who fell yesterday as well. Uganda this afternoon back in action, the She Cranes up against Samoa, and then South Africa. The Proteas will go up against Fiji just before 5:30 this afternoon here on court 2. Court 1 looks like this. Australia, another big win for them, 73-37 over Zimbabwe. The Silver Ferns are about to sing their national anthems. They're a little ahead of us over there on court 1 up against Barbados. The Roses, brilliant performance from them last night against Uganda. They're up against the old enemy, Scotland, at 3 o'clock, and then at 5 o'clock it's Jamaica playing Trinidad and Tobago. That will be all flair in the final game on court 1. Okay, let's get some reaction now. We can go to the Northern Ireland coach, Dan Ryan, who's with Hannah.
Well, Dan, a vital win there. You must be pretty pleased with that performance.
Yes and no. I think happy to get the win, and obviously that was the main focus today. It was a must-win game for us, so to get the points on the board, critical. I thought at times we executed some beautiful parts of our game plan and really stuck to task well, and the other times where I thought were a little bit reckless and not having the presence and intensity required to really push on. And there were a few opportunities there where I thought the game was hanging in the balance and we needed to own it and didn't. But, you know, we won comfortably, I guess, from a scoreline perspective, but certainly pushing for more out of our performance because I know we're capable.
And that's just the thing, isn't it? Because whilst you've got the win and you've got the points on the board in terms of the table, if you look at the breakdown quarter by quarter, they did take you pretty close. And that's something I'm assuming you're going to want to shut out against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I've had a good look at Zimbabwe as well, and they're a quality side that are going to be very, very difficult to beat. And I think if we played like we did today, it's probably not going to go our way against Zimbabwe. So we need to be really honest with where we're at with our performances when we cross the white line and get into match mode, because we are capable of doing some brilliant things. And I saw some of that stuff today, absolutely. But it's about just executing it for longer periods of time and not fading in and out of the game. And I think if we can do that, it sets us up nicely tomorrow, but we need to play well.
Well, best of luck tomorrow. Well played today. Thanks very much, Dan.
Cheers.
Yeah, relatively pleased. Dan Ryan getting their first win of the tournament. Here's a reminder of what it means in the context of the table. Australia 2 from 2, Zimbabwe and Northern Ireland 1 win each. Remember, the top 3 go through to the second preliminary stage here at the World Cup. Okay, time now to hear from the player of the match, and it has to be the Centurion, the captain, Caroline O'Hanlon.
Well, Caroline, first of all, double congratulations. Our player of the match and 100 caps for Northern Ireland. A great day?
Yeah, surprised to get that. I thought it was a tough game today. Sri Lanka really put it up to us, and we had a fight to the very, very end. Just delighted to get the win. We got taught a lesson yesterday by the Diamonds, and it was good just to get back on court so quickly and to get a win.
It was particularly impressive you getting back on this court so quickly after that knock you took yesterday. Obviously, you wouldn't be playing unless you were medically okay, but how are you feeling in yourself?
Yeah, no, I feel fine, as assessed by our medical staff, and they were happy to get me back on court. Yeah, no, it was a tough knock at the time, but that's the game. It's a very physical game. The ball was there to be challenged, and 2 of us went for it.
Today, it was tough out there on court. They held you close. What are you looking to work on tomorrow ahead of this crucial match now with Zimbabwe?
Probably our consistency. We were patchy, some nice passages of play, and then we switched off and give poor passes, or just our final touch into the circle just wasn't quite there. That's a bit disappointing, but as I say, it was coming off the back of a tough match yesterday, and we're just relieved to get the win. We'll go home, we'll review the game, and we look to Zimbabwe. That'll be another tough game tomorrow.
We know Northern Ireland are aiming for improvements, aiming high this World Cup. What do you think of the back of that performance that you can do here in Liverpool?
We'll not be looking beyond tomorrow. Zimbabwe had a good win against Sri Lanka yesterday. We haven't seen their game against the Aussies yet, but we can't really afford to look past that. We will get through to the group stages, obviously, after winning that match there today. But look, we just want to beat Zimbabwe tomorrow. We'll take it from there.
Well played today, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Caroline O'Hanlon, cleared by her own medical staff. She's a doctor herself, so she could pretty much work it out from her own point of view as well. Great to see her on court today. So 67-50 the final score between Northern Ireland and Sri Lanka. Malawi up against Singapore. That's at 11:25 here on court 2. We'll break for lunch, and then we'll be back with the She Cranes looking for their first win against Samoa, who fell to Scotland yesterday, and the Proteas looking to go 2 from 2 up against Fiji. Okay, let's get some more reaction. The Sri Lankan head coach is talking to Hannah.
Well, Tilaka, perhaps another frustrating performance from your team there.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with the centre court today because they didn't move as they used to. They keep on bunching, so it make easy for the opposition. They just have nice ball and they just got blocked. And the other thing that I noticed that they were just not running through. They were just go halfway and then going back. So it was a bit delay, and they didn't have much option on the offensively.
You were certainly having to work really hard to get that ball through to the shooters. If you look at the breakdown of the quarters, though, you held Northern Ireland quite close.
Yeah, that was the plan. It's just to go one by one and work on our centre passes. Our option was to score our centre pass, whatever comes. We were planning to have bonus. So, but unfortunately, Tharjani was getting panic, and halfway through, she was just trying to drive forward, and then when she was making that move, so that she got some penalty. So after that, that's why I have to take her out for a second and then put her back in. So I didn't work well today, actually.
2 losses from 2 matches so far. You have got Australia tomorrow. So the group stage has been difficult, not gone as you'd like, but what have you learned over the past couple of games?
Yeah, I think we have to play very physically, but we still trying to play a clean game. Whenever they have contacts, they just get upset with that. So I noticed that with the Northern Ireland team, when they are going body to body, they were just not going through. They just wait. They don't like it. So we need to get used to the aggressive playing. We don't have that aggressive moment. So I think playing a lot of matches in future, we'll be going there.
It's a very aggressive style of play, isn't it? Thanks very much.
Thank you.